So, what situation were you in last time? Because that was when you were still like Tushan or whatever, right?
Yeah.
In the names.
So before then, or when I was starting doing that, I had like a few billion saved. I think 8. It was right at the time of the 5, 10, 15 and the cube sale.
Oh
and
yeah.
we were debating how I should split my investment between drop gear and star forcing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because they were so close together, right? Like a week in
Yeah.
between. Yeah. Or less than a week. Yeah. So how did that end up going? You got that drop rate all taken care of?
Yeah, I kind of I stuck with your advice and just went all in on the drop. Or I don't think you said go all in, but like I pretty much went all in with the drop gear since I got pretty lucky with my cubing rolls. I had like a few billion left, and I used that to push my CRA gear up to 17.
Okay. And that stuff's at 18 now. So you feel like your rates when you're training went
Oh yeah, it went up
a little bit.
So I was still in Arcana at the time, and I was farming like 150 mil an hour, and now I had the back pet, and I was at 450 at CLP. Then I realized how shit of a map that was, and then moved to LP1 and started hitting 1 bill.
Yeah.
But now I'm back to 900 mil because my back pet died, which is unfortunate.
Well, it's not a bad number to go down to. 900 mil an hour is still pretty damn solid.
It was 800 mil for the longest time. Then I like started becoming more sweaty in the rotation, making sure I'm like, I started learning how to like do the looting properly, and then I managed to get back to 900.
Okay, good.
So right now I'm still at LP1 just because I haven't changed, or my gear hasn't changed that much since I started farming in Arcana.
Right.
And I was like, might as well stay here for a while. I'll wait till my next upgrade and see if I want to move to the next area or not.
Because the oh wait, I clicked something. There we go. There's like a page I can do with has like all of them in the mosaic. Yeah. Because your arcane power is looking decent, right?
Yeah. I think I could still I think I could one shot in VC3, but I still haven't moved there yet just because I feel like I should just milk out the meso for now. Like for me, I'm not too interested in the rates right now. For me, it's just getting the meso, and LP1's really like it's a pretty
well, the different rates.
Yeah. I didn't feel as sweaty doing LP1, so I figured I'll just stay here for a while until I feel like I want to move forward in terms of the content.
Right, yeah, because you have the kind of farmer on the side as well, so that you can scale up too.
Yeah. So once that gets to Arcana, I'll probably start looking towards moving to the next area.
Yeah, because wait, what level are you right now with this one?
My main is 248 and my Kana farmer is 226. So I'm probably gonna stay there until probably gonna stay in Latch until 235. Then I'll start moving. I'll still probably unlock the gonna unlock the daily either today or tomorrow, so I can still build the arcane power for farming in Arcana.
Yeah. And if you kind of checked with other Demon Slayers and with people who move out of Arcana as like on the DS to see like how strong they want to be, because of course, yeah, you need a little bit of time to build up your arcane power and everything. Otherwise, the new area is just like a wall that you're smashing into. But you do have a lot of arcane power at this point. So it's really like holding you back from moving into the next area. Because from what I understand, like with VC3 and stuff in Moonbridge, as long as you can kill reliably there, the rates don't really go down at all. It
doesn't, but at the same time, I feel like I kind of made the same argument last time about not moving to new areas, just because I wanted to stay at like maximize my meso rates, but don't progress too fast in terms of EXP. Just because I'll eventually hit a wall where I feel like I'm gated by not being able to level farm in the new area and not have enough or not earn enough meso. That's why I kind of made the Kana farmer, just so that I can fix that issue, so I don't like out level myself too quickly and then
But you're making
realize,
about
oh god,
900 mil an hour now, right?
yeah, no, totem.
Yeah, per totem. Oh yeah, okay, per totem, yeah. Because from what I understand, people who like kill at good speeds, even on Demon Slayers, in Labyrinth and in Limina, on DSs can get like closer to like 800-900 per hour instead of per totem.
Yeah, I'm still worried about making sure my gear is at the point where I can actually go to those areas.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like after this 5, 10, 15, I'll definitely I'm more comfortable moving to the areas. Just at the moment, I'm just gonna stay on LP1 for now.
Yeah. Oh, what is that? Chaos Ring roll. Can you still roll this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it until like November.
Oh yeah, November. Yeah, okay. Like this is not a good.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's still a drop rate ring, so it's not terribly important. But.
I had +3 on attack and +4 on stat, but I was like, I still have so many weeks of this. I might as well just push at least for 4 stat. I'm at 4 attack.
Yeah, exactly. 4 attack with some stat or 5 attack with nothing would be way preferable. Yeah, for sure. Even if it's just drop rate, so a little bit min maxy, but we're allowed to do that, right?
Yep. Free rolls.
So, yeah, exactly. So what kind of content? Okay, so we have the issue of inventory space, right? That's probably something we want to go over with like importance of pieces, because I imagine if you're doing your weeklies, it's pretty annoying having your inventory filled up.
Yeah, I only have like the first 3 columns worth of space.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like, so I have like a couple of goals right now.
Mm-hmm.
As you saw with my gear, I still don't have my Absolab up.
Yep.
The funny part is I gave it to my Kana first instead of my main.
Mm-hmm. It kind of makes sense. If you don't need it here and the Kana needs to be growing, then it's a higher priority there. It makes sense.
Because it was definitely gated by Arcane Force, so I was like, okay, I might as well just overinvest in equipment right now. The Arcane Force will catch up eventually, so might as well start farming.
Yeah, over-investing in one end, but on the other end, I mean, all of the gear you're investing in now stays with you, like, the whole time, so it's not really, like, a huge loss. I mean, it's not like you went for legendary 30% strength shoes or anything, right?
So, that would be dumb.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I wouldn't necessarily call it over-investing. Like, if you did that, then I would call that over-investing. But you don't need to, because your character is just strong enough and is able to kill right where you need it to. So nothing crazy going on there. Yeah.
So... yeah, that kind of explains my equipment situation. So, let me just pull up myself on my part. Okay, so Dominator pendants for superior pendant, reinforced earrings for superior earrings. I got way too many belts, but at the same time, I haven't gotten the 3rd superior backup yet. So I'm like, I get these belts, might as well keep them for now, unless I'm like really forced to just wipe out my inventory.
Yeah.
I would like more shoulders, but I feel like my goal right now is like 20-star Abso. So the plan is to push for 21-star on the transfer equip, then transfer into 20-star Abso.
Yeah, to put that all into context, what's your droplet count?
Let me just pull up my inventory.
Because we want to know if it's like worth to go for really high Abso, but if you're like kind of close, at least droplet wise already, to arcane stuff, do we really need to go super hard in Abso, you know? That's like the question here.
232 for Arcane River and 55 for Stone Origin.
Okay. It's like 290 total transferable. Yeah. Okay.
The reason why I'm kind of like hesitant about the arcane equips is just because, like, I seen your star forcing of them and how many times you end up booming your equips. I'm like, I feel like the Absol gear will stay with me for a long time, and I don't feel as bad about considering investing in them. Like maybe cubing wise, I probably won't do as hard. I'll probably just stick with 2-line. I probably wouldn't even push 2-line crit damage on it. But for me, it's like Absol gear is going to stay with me for a while, so I'm kind of like willing to do the investment for now.
Well, yeah, my arcane stuff blew up because I'm going past 17, right? What a lot of people will do is they'll get the full set, get the full 17 set in arcane, and then just sit on that, and then slowly accumulate more droplets. Events allowing you to buy more droplets. You know, the winter event coming up with up to 900 droplets. backups from bosses. And then, as you get backups, then try to slowly push up to 18, push up to 19, and then however far you want to go beyond that. If you eventually get to like a full set of 19 arcane, which I think reliably you can probably do with only like 2 or 3 backups, that would put you at the point where you're basically a little bit stronger, or I would say like enough stronger to be significant, than being in 21 Abzo. So if you're spending a lot of money now to go into 20 Abzo, which means that you will probably be about equivalent or a little bit stronger than 18 Arcane, versus how long you're going to keep that having to tap it from 20 to 21 with some associated risk, versus in the long term, and the fact that you are set up to make a lot of money to being able to buy out the droplets for like the guaranteed Arcane. There's like, you want to like visualize it as you're paying like a certain premium. If you're buying the droplets, right, you're paying like a premium to get access to cheaper upgrades and more guaranteed upgrades, versus in the Abzo, it's overall cheaper, but it's really risky on the upper end.
Yeah.
So it's kind of up to you. You can make that assessment, of course. For most people, I would advise, what bosses are you like clearing? Are you like clearing these bosses already and getting the droplets to make the arcanes, or are you not at that stage yet?
No, I'm not in normal Lucid or normal Will Party yet.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the main thing that'll be holding you back. Well, and that's probably why you'll be in Abzo for a while, is because you will be
gated by the boss drops.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have to be killing them for a while. Yeah, exactly. So it's up to you. I would say in the current stage of the game, going very hard on Abzo seems inefficient to me. I think you'll be fine just having like, I don't know, like 18 Abzo or something, and then going way harder on the other stuff that sticks with you. So like going harder in the CRA to try to get that stuff to 21 immediately, because of all the backups you have there, and maybe going harder on the accessories, depending on your backups there. You do have some backups, on the belt, stuff like that. The stuff that sticks with you the whole time, and not going as hard on the Abzo, and then saving all that money instead to immediately be able to move into Arcane when that comes available. And if you have like a higher standard for Arcane, you can also just Star Force the Arcane on the side, right? Kind of like what I'm doing with my Arc, where I have the Arcanes and they're like sitting in my inventory, but unless they're significantly better than what I have now on the Abzo, I just stick with the Abzo. And you can be in that situation without needing 20 or 21 Abzo. That can also be 17 or 18 Abzo.
So right now you're suggesting I go harder on the accessories instead, since I don't have a lot, but I have some backups at least for the belts, the earrings, and the pendant.
Yeah, and you do have the Golex coin backups, because the main thing is going to be, like Star Forcing the CRA is going to be huge, and that stays with you now, and it stays with you through switching to Arcane. So that's just really big. And you might also be able to kind of like bypass the need to like switch into the hat and then back into the CRA hat if you kind of make Abzo like a small, like a shorter pit stop instead of like a thing that you're going to be sitting on for years. Because if you're playing as much as you say that you are, right, like you're actually using up all the totems and you have the Kana to grind on even more, you will be progressing very quickly. And I think it would be an overinvestment, and probably like efficiency wise, not as good of an investment to go too hard and go for like 20 on Abzo, and rather just park the Abzo at 17 or maybe at 18 if you feel like it, and then just like immediately like eye on the prize and start looking towards Arcane stuff. That does mean moving into Abzo pretty soon, so you can have the set bonus, so you can have the extra damage coming from that and from the flames and everything. So you can start immediately joining like a Lucid party, and then hopefully pretty soon also Will parties, so you can start ranking up the backups, so that by the time the winter comes and all the droplets become available, you can immediately like buy however many you need and switch into the full set, and maybe, God forbid, have 1 or 2 drops by then. Because the main thing will also be like switching into an actual weapon, right? Because now you have the fake weapon.
Yeah.
So that won't be a priority because you wanted to have like the full set, but if you can get a real weapon and you can put weapon attack on that, that's going to be major for your damage increase, of course.
So when it comes to Abso gear, so you're suggesting either 18 or 19 stars?
I think, well, so for most people, I would just advise 17 because I think that's good enough to be able to do those bosses as long as your other gear is like on point. And like your secondary, your emblem, like you have the heart, like all of your other pieces of equipment are already really good. Like you have a 3-line already on your monocle. You have really good flame transpose on your Sweetwater pendant, so it's just like a matter of like redoing the potential a little bit for an extra line there. And like some Star Force to get it to 17. But if all your stuff is at 17 and some stuff is even higher, like if you have the fake arcane weapon, you get your CRA stuff to 21, and all the other stuff to 17 or 18, you can very easily, especially with the DS, be in like a hard lucid and a hard will party and carry your own weight, as long as you know the mechanics.
Yeah, I'm just worried about normal will since I'm still learning about the mechanics. I'm going through the guides and whatnot, but I'm guessing it's going to take some practice even with a normal will party.
Yeah, it's for everyone, right? It's like if one person messes up, the whole party gets set back by 2 minutes, which means more mechanics that you're not familiar with that could kill you, which means more pressure on you, which means lower lives, which means if you get tilted, more mistakes, which means, you know, and that can like snowball into becoming a shit show. Usually the first, I would say 3 to 4 runs are kind of clown fiestas. And that's perfectly normal. Someone's gonna fuck up one time, and then someone else thinks they got it, but they were actually just been getting lucky, and then they fuck up another time. And it usually takes about 3 to 4 runs for everyone to be like on the same page and get it. It's mainly learning the communication for phase 1 and learning like when to burst, when not to burst, when to domain, which dimension to domain in, how to do the test properly, how much to hit, you know, how to turn off your summons, make sure that you don't kill the people on the other side, that kind of stuff. And then the main thing is phase 2, the test, to make sure that you get hit properly. Don't look at other people, look at your own screen, look at the spider legs. The spider leg hit you, you move, because everyone is like desynced a little bit, and if you look at other people, you're gonna get thrown off, because it looks like everyone is moving at completely different times. But they're moving at the same time as you, according to the server. But like according to your game, they're like hopping around, doing weird shit. As long as you focus on what you need to do and be where you need to be, then you'll be fine. But that's usually the phase 2 test is where a lot of stuff goes wrong. Phase 1 is where you can usually optimize a lot more if you learn the timings, if you learn the dimension switches, use those in time. And then after like 3 or 4 runs, it'll get a lot easier, especially if the party's relatively strong. And then you can switch over to hard, because then the main difference between normal and hard is like managing your moonlight. That's the important thing. So once you can do normal and you really feel like you're like in total control, you're never out of, you always have like the moonlight bar completely full, and you barely have to ever use it. That's when and your party just clears without any kind of hiccups, and people lose like 1 or 2 lives, and that's kind of it. That's when you're ready for hard will, basically.
So going back to accessories, how should I be allocating my investments?
So basically by backups, I would say. So right now, because we went over the whole thing already, like with IED and crit rate and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't, just to make sure that those foundations are there. Legion looks nice.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress. Yeah, as the grid gets bigger, you move away from the middle and more into the sides, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks nice. I mean, I guess you could optimize 1 extra point, but that's like a little bit too nitpicky, probably, right? Going into crit rate, but again, crit rate not very useful for you, so it's probably not even worth. Yeah, just to make sure that the foundations and the other stuff that I have like in mind, that you're like up to speed with everything in the progression grid, because you're familiar with the progression grid, right?
Yeah.
And would you say that you're like kind of like within the metrics of everything that's in there? Because it looks like
I think I'm currently in mid game. I'm still working on ID in terms of making sure my visual ID gets a bit higher. I think I could kind of fix that once my superior set gets fixed.
Exactly. Yeah.
So everything else, the equipped with like bad flame scores right now, I think are my glove, my boot, my belt. 3 things that are going to be replaced with absolute gear anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they're non-flame advantage, so it's pretty. You don't. Not only are they bad, but also you underinvest because they're replaceable. So yeah, that's normal.
So I actually do have a question about my drop gear specifically. So I kind of started collecting backups for the Black Bean Mark and the Chaos Horntail earrings.
Yeah.
In the event I potentially push them to 20 star, like I'm not sure if it's worth the investment or not, but I kept it just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm like pretty eager to get you into Abzo, but not go too crazy with that, and more invest in the other stuff that stays with you instead. Because like if your aspiration is to like be like the big dick damage dealer and have like the insane amount of stat, and really stay in Abzo until you can move into like a 20 or 21 set arcane, then investing into Abzo to get like the 21, tap it at 20, like in 21 into 20 and then tap it back to 21 is probably going to be worth it, because that's going to take you a long time. But because we do have the the forecast of having up to 900 droplets available this winter, and most likely after that droplets just being permanently purchasable in Reboot from NPC, it just feels like you can also get by now with 17 or 18 Abzo and do fine. I say 18 because if you look at the calculations, even on the Abzo without safeguarding, from going from 17 to 18 on the Abzo is very, very low chance of booming. I think it's like a 0.3. I think it's like a 30% chance to boom one item for getting all of your items from 17 to 18 or something. Like, it's very low chance. Or you could 19 on the 150s and transfer over into 18 as well. That's also relatively cheap, right? Orders of magnitude almost cheaper than going from 21, going to 21 instead and then to 20, right? Because I think, investing instead in the accessories and in CRA will just net you better long-term returns of your of investing your meso there.
All right.
But I don't know what you had in mind, like, arcane. Did you have in mind like 17 arcane, or if you eventually went to that, would you feel like you need at least 19 for it to be worth, or do you have like the dream of 22 arcane? Do you have anything like that?
Not 22. I was thinking if I could get to, or though the way I thought about this was get to 21 Abso, then basically start collecting equips for the arcanes and start tapping them one at a time. And hopefully either get to 20 or 21 star. 22 star seems ridiculous, especially since it's like 20 to 22 was like 3 booms, and getting to 21 seems slightly easier.
Yeah,
but
it's significantly easier. Yeah.
At the same time, you can always get screwed over by RNG, and then
for sure
have it like permanently 12 star traces.
Right.
So I think I'm not really sure how far I want to go with the arcanes. I figured I'll decide based off how lucky I get with the star forcing.
Yeah, the other thing is, because the way that I'm proposing, it might be tempting to move into arcane quickly. Like, let's say you do have 17 or 18 Abzo, all the other stuff gets to 21, right? Like the accessories, the CRA, all that stuff, and you do have more money left over as a result, and you go pretty quickly into the arcanes, and you can actually make like 19-star arcanes or something. It'll be very tempting to immediately move in, but then you'll kind of be like stuck in like 18 or 19 arcanes, because if you want to improve at that point and you boom, you'll have to go down, right? And then you might have to settle for a 17 where you had a 19 before. Now, even functionally, that's not going to really change much for you, right? If one item goes from 19 to 17, it's whatever. But like mentally, that could fuck with you a little bit. So I guess it would depend on how much you feel like that's something that really affects you or not so much.
Yeah, I think even with the set changes that are coming to Arcane to make it easier to transition to like a 2-set Arcane, I still think I'll end up keeping the Absol set just for as long as possible, just because I think there's that mentality affecting you where you feel like you just took a massive step back by going from 19 to 17. And I probably wouldn't Star Force any Absol gear past 17 if I didn't have a backup, but at the same time, it's like, when that does boom and then you have that final backup, you definitely don't want to push past 17.
No, exactly, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there's... So
what would be the Star Force equivalent? Because, like, let's say I'm going to end up under investing on on the Absolab cubing. But then once I do get my arcanes, I will probably start over investing in them.
Yeah,
so,
and flame wise as well. Yeah.
So what kind of what's like the conversion between let's say an 18-star Abso set to, like, when would I start trying to switch over?
Well, like 17 arcane with like the say 2.5 line potential, and like OK Flames will already overpower 18 Abso, so you could like switch immediately at that point.
Is it worth cubing for 2.5 line? Let's say on a 17-star.
On arcane, I would say so, yeah, because you can switch and you can immediately use them, and it'll be in power increase. And then what you do is you just figure out, okay, you wait for the next big 5, 10, 15, right? You wait until you have a bunch of droplets available, until you have a bunch of money available, or until you get a drop backup, and then you just like roulette it one at a time, right? And if you have the droplets, you basically have flexible backups. You can back up whichever item blows up. And then you basically treat this as like the old school, basically where you'll be starting now with the accessories. It'd be like, okay, well, let's say I have 3 backups for everything. Nothing is like brain dead. Okay, push it to 22 because 20 backups. What you'll probably do is just get everything up to 18. If something booms, replace it and get it back up to 18. If you end up with like no backups left, you leave it at 17 and you move over to next targets basically. So that every single upgrade gives you, every extra Star Force gives you more gains than the one before, but it's always less efficient meso-wise to go for an extra star versus a previous star on the same item at least, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if you want to spend it efficiently, you just go like 1 star at a time and just like basically like bunny hop, like all forward 1, okay, all forward 2, okay, and then because then let's say you have 17 full arcane, let's say you have some backups, let's say you have a bunch of money. If you push one item at a time, it's possible that the one item just doesn't see 20 ever. You blow up everything, you blow up all your money, and you end up with a 17 again, and you make no gains. But if you do like 1 star at a time, it's very possible that one item ends up booming. That's your last replacement. You go back to 17, but all the other items are like all 18, or some of them are even 19. And then in total, you will have made significant gains. And I think that will get you pretty reasonably to full 19-star arcane, because up to 19 booming is very, very low. And having full set 19 arcane and all your other accessories and all your other stuff at 20 or 21, that's like Black Mage ready. Like, as long as you have character control, you have Oz rings and stuff, you could do Black Mage with that.
Okay, if that's the case, then I kind of see the reasoning behind not going too hard on the Abso gear.
Yeah, so I guess I should have clarified that extra step a little bit more, yeah. Because if you're full 19, you're basically at the point of being at full 21 Abso. But the way there, it'll take longer to get there, but eventually it'll be a safer way of getting there, right? Because that's what I was getting at with that premium that you pay to get to there. But then once you're there, the extra upgrade is cheaper and less risky. Yeah, as long as you don't boom like 12 items going from 17 to 19 or something. You're like the 99th percentile unlucky dude or something. That's yeah.
Everyone's a 99% percentile unlucky dude on one equip.
Yeah. But hopefully the other ones are really lucky to compensate. Yeah. So, with that in mind, I think there's like 2 major approaches, right? You could do on the Abso up to 18, or you can do the 150s up to 19 and then transfer over. Regardless, I think you have like way too many backups.
Yeah.
Because even if you do it off of 5, 10, 15, you probably, to get to 19, I think like 6 or 7 backups is probably pretty safe. So if you're holding on to like 15 items, I would just clear out a little bit. I would keep like 1 type of cape, 1 type of belt. And then like 1 type of shoulder, I guess. That should immediately get you like 10 to 15 spots more in your inventory, so you have a little bit more breathing room. Why are you keeping all the earrings?
I was thinking of pushing the the reinforced ones or the Chaos Horntail.
You had the Horntail ones, yeah.
I was thinking of pushing 215. I'm pretty sure it goes up to 20 star. Yeah, it does. I was thinking of pushing to 20 star, and like in the event that I feel like I need the extra damage, but it's not necessarily a priority, so I might just get rid of them. it was kind of like an impulsive decision. I had like slightly more inventory back then.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I might as well start collecting backups in the event that I impulsively decide to start pushing the drop gear to 20 star.
Yeah. So, so like for reference, I don't think you need. You can benefit from like meso gear, specific meso gear. So that would be like 1 line of meso, 2 line of damage, or 2 line of meso with anything on a 3rd line. You can benefit from having that be like over 17 stars and like 20 or above, but that would be if you're going to Cernium or Burning Cernium. So that you can, be like full damage gear, but 3 pieces have meso on it, right? 2 pieces with 2 meso, 1 piece with 1 meso, and like 1.5 damage or 2 line damage, so that you can keep training with that gear on and still kill reliably. Other than that, your damage is always going to get carried by your arcane power, by your WSE, and by your boost nodes. And whatever the stats are exactly on your drop rate, as long as they're not like absolute trash, they will be good enough, and you'll be able to one-shot.
Like, the thing is that, like, a lot, like, I was talking to a couple of Demon Slayers about this, and I was like, most of them rotate between using Blue Blood to boost up their damage, especially when they're teleport farming. And for me, it's like I want to get to a point where I'm able to one-shot without having to use Dark Meta, because that slows down the rotation, and without having to use Blue Blood, because that requires Demon Force management or Demon Fury management. So basically, one-shot with DSI active, which doesn't even increase the damage, and decent Holy Symbol on, because like until we get the auto buffs for the buffs,
pets, yeah.
Until we get those auto buffs, I feel like I'm gonna end up forgetting using Metamorphosis during one of my rotations, and I'll realize, oh gosh, my rates I'm not one-shotting anymore. Then I'll click it like then. But then, like until I realize that, okay, I lost my buff, I'm gonna have lower rates. I think it's just easier to just not have to worry about buffs and just be able to one-shot in an area.
So when it comes to like where you can put your money to be able to achieve that and get that extra damage, I would say like getting up to 17 or 18 Abzo, that's going to be already like a world of difference versus like these shoes and like this shoulder and what you're using now. Yeah. Once you get the superior and then if you get a high Star Force belt and high Star Force earring coming in immediately, it's very possible that you end up with, let's say you get like the 20 star superior, right? Like let's say you get 21 reinforced, transfer hammer over, and you roll like, I don't know, like let's say something realistic like 12% strength and a line of dropper or a line of meso, and then something shitty on the 3rd line. You can use it as like a hybrid earring for now as well, because you'll get way more boss damage out of it regardless because of the set bonus. You'll still keep the same utility as this one. And it'll be like a little bit of an in-between phase where that earring is just giving you way more damage mobbing. That'll give you time to work on like finalizing all of the boost nodes, finalizing the arcane power, getting all of the other pieces in line as well, right? Because you'll get probably the earring and the belt done pretty quickly, if the 5 to 15 goes well, and the CRA done. And then the Abzo will be just 17, 18, wherever you decide to get it. But then you'll have time to work on all the other accessories, mainly on the rings, right, to get a lot of damage gain there. And then once you have that, you can move the earring back into being like purely for damage. And then you can just switch back into this earring, maybe make the flame a little bit better, but just it being 17 will be good enough.
Okay. So, like, right now I have Absolute Gear for 17, 18 stars, CRH for 21 star, belt and earring for 21 star. How far should I go for my pendant and my pendant and earring, or pendant and ring?
What kind of budget are you working with, so we can have some realism?
50 to 60 bill, depending on how many more. Yeah, it's right now mainly my farmings during my day offs. So right now I'm at 15 bill, and I think I could hit 20 or 50 bill. I could hit minimum 50 bill, and the goal is 60.
Well, it's just quote unquote just CRA to 21 is already pretty expensive. So probably want to prioritize the Abso first, because that's going to be, you know, from money spent to gains, the biggest bump that you get, right? And with that, you're probably switching to the hat, right, for the boss damage bonus?
I haven't decided on that yet. Like, I know the best in slot is to have 18, or is to have the Abso hat if you have an arcane web. But I'm kind of tempted not to do it, just because even though there is a damage increase, there's also a meso cost towards putting towards the hat that I could probably put towards other gear that will last me longer. I'll see if, like, depending on the content, if I'm not gonna, like, or I'll see if I have, like, remaining meso left, and I'll probably work on the 17-star Abso hat. But if not, then I'll probably keep the CRA one.
Yeah, the thing is, in the grand, the main question is, like, in the grand scheme of things, how much money is it going to cost you, right? Let's see, you get like a 19 hit, 5, 10, 15. Yeah, because like yeah. So if you're going to get the 150s to 19 and then transfer into 18 Abso without star catching and without safeguarding, it looks like that's going to be like average, you know, like upwards of 4 bill, like 4.5 each. So if you spend like that 4.5 to get the 18 Abso to get the 13 boss, and then after that prioritize on the top and the bottom first, because you don't need to get into the CRA hat at all until you're making the full switch into Arcane, right? So that's technically an upgrade you don't necessarily have to do just yet. So
right now it'll just be the top and bottom.
Yeah, so it would mean just top and bottom for now. So like, so we get like Abso into 18, we get the top and the bottom bumped. That'll already be like massive, and then we work on the earring and the real full send. Probably full send. Yeah, I guess you could send it. Yeah, I'd probably send on the CRA first because it's already 18, and because when it's 21, it actually stays as 21, right? It doesn't go anywhere. If you have, you have enough for all 4 of the pieces for superior as well, right?
Sorry, what do you mean?
For the 4-piece superior, can you move into the whole set now? Because you do have like all of those points. Yeah.
It's just a matter of making sure, or like right now I have 5 Meister rings here. I also have 3 craftable ones right now. So 7 backups for the, or 8 backups for the rings. Not sure if I have enough pendants. I think it's about the same as the number of Meister's rings I have.
So
belts and earrings I could probably move towards 20 to 21 star superior. So I might just keep it at 18 to 19 star for the pendant and the ring. Not sure how far I should push with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be like probably be best to push everything out to, because you do want to switch into the set bonus, especially if you want to be doing will, right? Because in the beginning we're going to be a little bit level short, so you already have final damage penalty there, so you don't want to get it too much down. But you're definitely not going to have the money to like push everything to like 20 or 21 where you want it, right? So you're going to have to make choices. So the things that you don't have to safeguard will probably have priority, because on average those are just cheaper upgrades. So I would probably, so if you're looking at this is for up to 19 to transfer down, yeah. In terms of like Abso, backups, do you have like a build up of that, or is that
like the pieces themselves? Let me see how much I have. Like, I feel like that's not too big of an issue, because when I started building those up, I was doing like multiple trades for the weeklies. That's how I normally build mine up. So right now I have 200 of each.
Right, okay. Because if you have enough backups, going just straight to 18 on the Abso, just as a comparison, is about half the money compared to going to the 19 and then crushing down. But, you know, average booms is like, is decent per item. So if you have the backups, just going 18 straight up on the Abzo is way cheaper. And then that leaves you way more money. So that way you can use backups and the work that you've already put in as basically as meso value so that you can redistribute where you spend your money, right?
Wait, would I still be safeguarding the Abso?
No. So like the average boom is like 2/3. Range boom is 0 to 8. So like, you know, it's gonna be like median booms is less than 1. But if you're doing 5 items, you're probably gonna get like 3-4 booms probably. But that means, so if you have enough pieces to do that, that means in total your average cost is gonna be probably like lower than 2.5 bill, versus the other one is like 4.5. So you'd be saving like 2 bill per item, just because you might be tapping into backup resources instead.
I think it's kind of going to depend on how much meso I have left then.
Yeah, well, but if you do I think we should do the Abzo first, right? Okay. Because that comparatively is going to be the biggest gain. So if you have enough backups, I would do it this way on the Abzo itself, because that's on average going to save you 10 bill. As long as you have the backups for it. So if you have enough to make, let's say like worst case scenario or something. Let's say you have like, do you have enough to make like 12 pieces?
Let me just see how many cores
that would have to be like really unlucky, but because it's like 85% chance within 2 booms, 75% chance within 1 boom. So.
Most likely not before 5, 10, 15.
Mm-hmm.
How many cores would I need for total backups?
It's all pieces that need 2, so 2, 20, so 40 each. So in total like 480. So divided the hat and the shoulders in 1. So let's say like, I don't know, like
no, I'm thinking just how many boss cores only, because I like.
Oh, it's two per item, right? So 24.
Oh, okay.
So like divided between so Lotus would be a little bit more than half, and then Damien a little bit less than half. So like 14 to 10, something like that, or like 15 to 9 equivalent.
Yeah, I should be fine on the boss core end, so it's just a matter of getting backups during. Like, I'll see if I can spread it out, start doing weeklies again, start doing trades, and then get some backups like that. Yeah, especially with my Kana farmer, should be fairly quick in terms of getting trades.
Yeah, because I see like 10 bills saved here, and since you have pretty ambitious plans, and if you do have that build up yet, that would be like a relatively cheap thing you can do to get a big extra budget boost.
Yeah.
Because if you would add this to like 19, then I wouldn't do it this way, because then that cost increases and that boom chance it goes like way up. So
almost doubles.
Yeah, exactly. So. Or like actually doubles. so 18 I think is a good spot to be at, because if you compare 18 to 17, it's not that huge of a difference.
Yeah.
It's even without safeguarding, like it doubles, but it goes from like 30% chance to move something to 60% chance to move something. You know. So that's something you can do. You can also start with this and see like, okay, I'm getting short on backups, and then you peel into the ones that you have, the items that you have backups for, right? Imagine the gloves and the shoes, you're going to do those other 150s, right? So you have the coins saved up so you don't have them in your inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So about 12.5 billion to get 5 pieces to 18 star?
Yep. Just get it to 18.
Guess I'll just see how unlucky I get during the start forcing. Like if I get unlucky, then I'll start doing the safeguarding.
Yeah.
Like if I start booming way too many times, then I feel like I'll just do the safeguard.
Yeah. Or what you can do is safeguard up to 15, because there's like a lot of, it's lower chance, but there's a lot of back and forth up to 15. But up to 15 safeguarding is not as expensive because it's a pretty low cost that you're doubling. But safeguarding like the part past 15, especially if you're getting to 15 to 16 for free, bouncing around between like 16 and 18 a bunch of times, safeguarding that part can be very expensive. So that could also be.
I think I'll do 16. Like right now, all the equips are all the backups have like one equip that's 15 stars right now.
Okay, yeah. Then start
So
there.
I'll tap one over, then transfer hammer, then if I'm lucky, I would just only need that one equip. If not, then I'll just start doing the
that's perfect. Yeah.
traces.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that like if you already did the 30% off like prep to 15, then that would change the approach a little bit. So you do have that. Yeah. Okay. Then that's a good place to start then. Yeah. And I would just do that. So you're like 19 would be the aim. I would do that for like the pieces into Abzo. And then right after that, do that to the CRA. And then right after that, like if the CRA is 19, then I would like see if you can put the... well, yeah, the belt and the earring and the CRA is all kind of like equal. So you can like tap them like one up, right? Where you do like, okay, try to get them all to 19, all to 20, all to 21, something like that. And then if you get them to 21, transfer the belt and the earring over to 20 stars. And then the CRA will be at 20, so only the top and the bottom. And all the other pieces down to, or up to 18. I think that should all be very doable in your budget. So it'll look very different. But then we still have the pendant and ring, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of like hesitant about how far I should push those equips.
Yeah. Because I think up to 19 you won't have much trouble with like the belt and the earring and the CRA. That'll be pretty quickly. But then like popping from 19 to 20, that's when the stuff's gonna start hitting the fan. So that'll be up to you, up to your discretion. If you're like, okay, I've just boomed like 17 times to try to get back up to 19, like this is not going well, I'm just settling, or like try to get back up to 20, so I'm just selling for 19 and then getting all the other stuff to 17 or 18 first. It's probably a good idea to have like a little bit of an idea of the budget so that you know how much you want to be saving up. Because the other rings you want to do is you already have the kind of treasure at 17, right?
No, that's also at 15.
Oh, it's at 15. Okay. Well, 15 to 17 will be very fast during a 5 to 15, so it's essentially already at a 17. It's like a bill or like a bill and a half spent, but then it's immediately there.
Yeah, someone recommended Aqua said to use that transfer, but at the same time, I'm going to eventually. I think was it Connor's treasure that's best in slot once, or is it Meister ring once the slime ring comes in? Which one gets replaced?
It'll just be the one that has the highest. I believe they have the exact same base stats, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll just be the one that has the better Star Force on it.
Or whichever has fewer backups.
Yeah, well, hopefully the one with the most backups you push the furthest, then gets the furthest, and then will be the strongest one. But I believe their base stats are actually the same. It's 5 all, 1 weapon magic attack, and 5 all, 1 weapon magic attack, yeah. They even have the same HP and MP, and defense. They're exactly the same. Yeah, it purely comes down to backups.
I guess it also depends on how easy it is to get backups for the slime ring.
Yeah. Apparently, from what Kobe said, if you kill the hardest version, so that's like projected to be stronger than Hard Will, but easier than Chaos Gloom, but like pretty high up there, like in the beginnings of Endgame, or like the end stages of late game, I guess. That one has around the same drop rate as like the pink bean mark you said, or like the black bean mark. So if you get to the higher difficulty, it seems like it's not like every single run, but like a decent drop rate, right? Because I mean you have like 8 of them in your inventory, so it's not like it's insanely rare.
Yeah, I guess I'll see depending, or I'll probably still end up making the Meister and Kana treasure to 21 star, assuming I get enough backups. Then whichever gets 22 first gets to be the one that stays, and the other one will get replaced.
Yeah, you have so you have the coins. I guess so. Well, the set we want to go for would be the Kana treasure, the Meister, the reinforced, and the superior. Now, right?
Yeah. I'm just going. I just need like a 2-minute break. Someone's calling me right now. I think it might be from work.
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry, just give me one.
No problem. So I think what we want to go for is well, the Kana treasure 17 is no brain, and then I think he has one of his Meisters on 15 already, right? This one looks like it's pretty close to 17. So like 17, 17.
Scammer.
Oh, nice. No car insurance for you today?
No air duct cleaning services today.
Okay. Yeah, so well, so 17 is like really close immediately, right? Because I assume that you have a 15 Meister and that you have the 15
Yeah.
Kana treasure.
Yeah.
And then reinforce, getting that up to 17 will be pretty simple as well. I think it'd be, yeah. I'd probably push like one Meister out, since you said you have 5 and you do have the backup possibility for 3 extra.
Yeah.
I push out one Meister, and if the Meister is successful and gets to 21, I would transfer that into the Superior immediately and just lock in that Superior and start working on that, so you can have the set bonus go live with a good Superior. And then work back to a 17 Meister.
So I will be pushing Superior to 21, or Superior rank to 21, right?
So that's like the risk. You want to either get a Meister all the way to 22 and then transfer it over, or bump 20 to 21 and then risk having to buy back a 1700 coin ring.
Yikes.
Yeah. Those are both like not great options. I went for the former because a lot of primals, and there was a no boom room up to 15 plus a 5, 10, 15 combination, and I managed to get 222 Meisters in that. And then I ended up with a 21 Superior. But yeah, that's... Yeah. You could also do the Kana Treasure Ring first, and if you do reach... if you do reach 20, then go for the other one, and then see if you reach 21 with any backups. If you have any backups, you can freely just Star Force those to go into Superior with like no risk at that point, right?
Yeah.
Because then the Kana Treasure is where you want it to be.
I guess I'll decide based off, like, if I do have backups at the end of the day, then I'll end up pushing the 20 Meister Ring, or pushing it to 22. I don't think I have enough backups. I think 21 is probably going to be the more realistic outcome.
Yeah.
So I'll do 21 into 20 Superior, 21 Meister into 20 Ring. And then I think I might just keep it at that, just because I don't want to... If I have more Meister backups, like 2 or 3 more, then I might push it to 21 star, but if I don't, then I might just leave it.
Yeah, let's say you get lucky on the first one, right? And the first one actually just goes to 21. You could be like, okay, I'll just make another one. And if you get 2 21s, then you can decide. If you still have like 5 backups, you can see if you can push one to 22, right? And then transfer that one into Superior. If you get 2 to 21, but you only have like 1 backup left, well, at that point, then you have the choice of either you go like make a 20 Superior and a 21 Meister, which I think is like a huge upgrade and it's very, very solid. And then you can just say in the long term, next time, maybe 2 5, 10, 15s from now, when everything is like 20 and 21, maybe at that point you have like 3,000 Golex coins back up, and you buy like 1 Superior prior, and you like try to bump it up to 21. If it booms, then you can always go back, and probably by that time you have a bunch more Kana Treasuring backups, or you have some primals again, and then you can do the whole thing again if you want to. But then you can make a more informed decision and a more high risk decision, and you have a bit better reference frame for how much you're going to spend on everything, because a bunch of the items will already be done at that point. Because there is the matter of the Dominator pendants as well.
Yeah. I'm too scared tapping those. Those are like way too rare.
Yep.
So regarding the earrings, do you think I have like enough backups to push 21 star?
Is one of those Superior, or are those all reinforced?
I think they're... Wait, let me just check. I think they're 2 Superiors in there. Never mind, just 1.
Yeah, this one I think. Right? The 1/3 from the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be enough. I think if you throw this into the calculator, I think the average boom is only like... I don't think during 5, 10, 15, I don't think that's high. I think it's like 4 or 5. Like, that's it.
So would I be doing 22 star reinforce into 21, or would I be doing 21 reinforce into 20 earring, then tap it to 21?
22 average booms, 6.3 range of booms anywhere from 0 to 55. Nice. That looks like an average cost of like 20 bill if you're trying to go for 22 and then transfer down. If you're doing 21 and transfer down, it looks like somewhere 12, like under, like short of 12 bill.
I think I'll run out of mesos before I get to that point.
Yeah, because well, you want to do the ring and the belt, and you want to go hard on those. But I think it'll be perfectly fine if you can get all your stuff to 17 and like 18 Abzo, and maybe the CRA to like 19, and then switch the belt and the earring into like 20 star superior, and activate your superior set. It's already going to be a massive increase. And then that doesn't necessarily mean that you fell short or something, because you know you do have a budget. You can't unlimitedly spend, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So I think activating your superior set will be important, and switching into Abzo set. I think I would prioritize those. If that does mean not even going hard on CRA right now, because you don't have the money for that, then that's fine. But like activating the set is so, because a lot of people already have the set right now at this stage, right? But then they have the 17 star set, and then they have to bump it up to 20 or 21, and then redo the potential. So you're bypassing all of that cost. But that does mean that you've been kind of gimping your character up till now, and now it's really the time to like go hard. So activating the full Abzo set and the full superior set, I think, should be priorities. So ideally, the superior pieces with high star force. So that does mean pushing. The pendant, the earring, the belt, the ring, all of the like other type items up to a high star. I would say 21 and then into 20. I think that's like a good place to be at. And getting the Abzo, regardless, if you're level 150, items can go up to 19, transfer hammer down. If they boom, do on the Abzo itself, as long as it doesn't boom too many times, just 18 on itself. If it does boom a lot, maybe go for a backup again or safeguard, right? I think that'll be within your budget, and that'll be doable. And it's very possible that you get the other rings and the other items just barely to 17, and that you don't even touch your CRA, and then that'll just be the next thing on the list for the next time there's a 5, 10, 15.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just make sure I get the order down for things to work on. So definitely want to get the absolute gear to 17 star at least, if not 18 star. I actually might just stick with 17 star Abso for now, and like right at the beginning, I'll sell for the 17 star, and then if I have pencil left over, then I'll just start pushing it to 18, just because I kind of want to make sure that I get at least a superior set up to 20 star,
right?
Because I don't want to work on potential for a superior equip like a ring or a pendant without like let's say I boom at like past 17 star, then I'm gonna have a 12 star trace. Then I'm gonna have to transfer it into a new equip. Now it's gonna be 12 star. It's gonna have the potential that I actually wanted to have on it, and then I'll have to directly tap that up to 21 star again.
You're talking about superior gear at this point?
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of risky. Yep. Like if I have 20 star, then it's like at that point to settle, I keep that until I have way more backups.
Yeah, 20 on the 150 or 20 after transfer?
20 after transfer.
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah. So 21 into 20, and then hold for now. Wait until the other stuff all catches up, all gets to 20 and 21 as well, and then you just see where you have the backups, and then go if you feel like going it, if you feel the upgrade is necessary, and if you have the backups to, and the funds to warrant it, then you can push further.
So like let's if I do get 20 star superior equips, is it worth cubing for 2 line at that point?
I would say so, yeah. Maybe even 2.5 line, because you're going to keep that for quite a while.
Okay. I think that's it for. Wait. Okay. So 17 to 18 star Abso. Then I would be working on. Shall I work on CRA first, or shall I work on the superior set first?
I work on getting the superior set in, I think. Because even though you have the backups for CRA and you don't have the safeguard, and it's like pretty optimal to do that, mostly in the situation that you're in, you would already have the superior 17 set coming in. And since you still don't have that one, I would move into it in a big way. So try to get like 20 on a pendant, after transfer, 20 on a pendant, and 20 on a belt ring and earring. And that can mean prioritizing and booming a bunch of your rings that you're not even using themselves, but you're only using them as transfer fodder for the superior. Because it would kind of suck if you get into like a decent Star Force, Kana Treasure, and Meister, but then you have to like just Star Force Safeguard on a superior just to get a 17 star in there to complete the set. It feels kind of cucked, because then what do you do with the potential? Because you'll have to transfer again later anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's better to prioritize it now and maybe not even switch into a good Meister ring. That's possible. Maybe you end up, you know, with almost all of the fodder gone. But if you end up with a good star superior that you can go hard on the potential on, and that gives you the set bonus, then it's been worth it.
Yeah.
Then the Meister rings have like fulfilled their purpose, you know.
Is it worth working on the Sweetwater pendant for this one?
I would bump it to like together with the stuff that you have at 15. Like I would definitely bump it to 17 because of the flame. It's basically giving you like more than one extra star, almost 2 extra stars, because the flame score is so good, right?
Yeah.
So it is a really good ring even at 17. But you had like 2,000 dineros, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the whole like dinero tapping and all of that stuff is also really fine and dandy, but that's just going to be too much for one event.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, next time rolls around, maybe you get a pat mark by then, and then that also means that you haven't like over invested in the current Sweetwater monocle and just can bump on it, like immediately get focused on the next one, right? And then you also don't have to safeguard when you're doing dineros. If you do enough backups, then you can make sure that you don't have to safeguard for the Sweetwater stuff and save a lot of money that way, just like you might do right now with the Abzo, right?
Yeah. So, Absolute Gear 17 to 18 star, Superior Set to 20 star, Sweetwater Pendant to 17 star. Then whatever I have left would go towards the CRA top bottom. And
I'll probably get the rings in first. Well,
before
yeah.
the Sweetwater or before the CRA?
Before the CRA, yeah. The question is,
do I have backups?
Yeah, the question is, do you have backups at that point? Because your current event rings, damage-wise, that's where a lot of gains are. But I do agree with you that you probably just want a full Star Force on the rings first until they're like worthy of being switched in and worthy of being potentialed. And you probably don't have the funds for that right now. Yeah, maybe not the backups. So maybe CRA at that point, yeah. And then if that goes very well, then maybe into the extra rings would be like the priority, I would say, yeah. So like the extra
is it worth tapping the hat for right now, or it's just leave it for now and just wait for next 5, 10, 15 if you want to push it?
Yeah, I would keep the hat until you're moving into full arcanes. Because I would go into the Abzo hat, and then the moving into the arcanes plus upgrading the CRA hat would be like at the same point, basically.
Okay.
So the extra, I mean, I think you can just get rid of the extra Diacitus earrings. That should free up a bunch of room. Like if you really feel like upgrading, I would just like get maybe a slightly better flame on the current one, but other than that, I wouldn't do much. Because it is Mezzo and like double line of all stat. This could be like that one ring you use, right, for the Mezzo and damage if you do go to the higher level areas. But that does put some pressure on other equips that probably have to have double Mezzo and maybe be able to go to 20, 21. So what happens to a lot of people is they'll have like the monocle, maybe get like a 20 or 21 monocle eventually before you even see a pat mark, and then finally see a pat mark or an eye patch, and then like that hopefully that one becomes the damage, yeah, and then revert that one to the Mezzo gear and then keep rolling until you get double Mezzo, yeah, exactly. So it's like the future of that piece. Do you have because what is your pendant setup? Because if this one becomes your damage and then the superior, and then you use the greed and what do you use? Oh, you have a mechanator. Yeah, okay. With double Mezzo, that's nice. Yeah. And a really good flame. Okay, so that one, yeah, that one's only 15 stars. So, wonder if it could fill the spot. You'd have to be pretty strong in the other senses, but like flame wise and potential wise, this one's very, very solid. Man, if only this would like allow you to go up to 20, right? That would be.
Yeah, exactly. I felt so bad rolling this.
Oh god, yeah. Like really good, but really bad at the same time. You know.
I was like, this could have been 20 star. I'll be set for like until Cernium.
Yeah. Well, if you're strong enough with the other pieces, you can be. Like if your arcane goes okay and you can get to 19 arcane. You know, in the CRA 21, maybe up to 22 at that point, right? Because that's like within the wheelhouse as well. All your other accessories up to 21, and then just 3 pieces are replaced by these. That might be enough because that slightly brings back the the boss accessory set as well, so it's like boosted a little bit more, right? Because you'll go into 5 set there.
Yeah.
Because of the cup and the 2 pieces and the badge. Like, I don't know. It'll be like a little bit touch and go. I mean, you're going to be using like your G potions, maybe even your Legion power to be able to train. You know, like you're just going to be squeezing everything that you possibly have into that to be able to kill properly. And then the meso rates at that point will be a little bit dookie, but the experience rates will be insane. I feel it's worth at that point, but you know. I think you'll be right on the curve, because even if you want to go for like 2021 Arcane, you won't be in my situation where you just have to like wait for events to get droplets. Yeah, wait for backups or like events that allow you to buy droplets, because if you're training there, you don't get any droplets anymore, right? But I think by the time you get to that point, either the NPCs will have it, or you just have the event where you can buy 900, which is, you know, quite a lot. You're gonna have quite some backups there. It's like 7 backups, so...
Did they say that like it takes like 8 months to get enough boss drops in order to be able to change all those droplets into coins?
Oh, yeah, all of them? Yeah, you do need... But mainly, if you buy that many, either you're getting very unlucky, but you have a character that's built up a bunch of them already, and you're like trying to get to 21, so you have those backups already. Or you're doing it on multiple characters, and then you can, of course, get it in... You do it in 2 characters, then you could do it in 4 months, right? Or in 3 characters, then you could do it in like 2.5 months. Because they can all get the pieces at the same time, right? Or get the boss droplets, I mean, at the same time. So then you'll be able to turn...
before my Kana gets Arcane Gear for my main.
Oh, I mean, if you start running on the Kana, the fans are going to drop like nothing. Yeah, my friend had 0 fans when we started running boss, and I've gotten a cape drop since then, and he's gotten 7 weapons drop.
Yeah, so, right now I'm actually reaching on my Kana for the weps. So right now I'm actually in hard lucid party, since I don't have the mechanics down for hard will party. I basically do nothing, but the guy just offers to carry me in order to get the fan and lucid soul shards. So yeah, hopefully I get the wep before I finish getting enough soul shards. Yeah,
they'll get you a lot of damage increase there. That will definitely take a lot of weight off of how much you need to be funded as well to be able to kill properly, and once you get to Arcana.
Yeah.
That insane amount of magic attack is just broken. I mean, it's expensive to get like a 17-star fan, but it gives you so much magic attack. Decent flame, and I think you're at like 600 or something on the Kana, right? It's like pretty nuts. It's probably over 600, like 680 or something. I don't know. Just have no drop equips to make it take longer. Doesn't seem great. You could transfer Pink Bean to Superior Galax and Zekum came to Ebza Cape. Yeah, that's actually what we're talking about in here, Cuddy and Jack. That's what we're talking about. Because you've got those old equips in there now, and we're trying to make a big jump. So you're going to see a huge leap in your damage output. It's going to be absolutely massive. Because I imagine... If you do Helix with this gear, it's still kind of annoying, I imagine, right?
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Like I actually stopped doing Helix for like over a week now, just because I mentioned in the chat how my guild kind of screwed up guild PQ for 2 weeks now.
Oh yeah, without the guild skills, it becomes problematic.
I tried like after work, I tried doing Gulux, and I was like, that took way too long, and it was way too risky. I was on my last life too. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to do this every time for a full week just until guild skills get back up. So I'm just gonna drop it for now. I'll take my chance of not getting superior drops for 6 days, and go back to it once I get guild skills.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much easier, and it's like less stressful.
Well, you say 6 days, but you can use them now, right?
I think in like an hour.
Yeah, because it's 24-hour cooldown. Yeah, I mean, this should basically, like, if you go for this upgrade, this should make the difference between like it being like a little bit touch and go with Helix and it being like no brain super easy. Helix should become so much easier, and like soloing a Lotus and Damien will become so much faster. And getting into like Lucid, I mean, you have a little bit of experience with Lucid now, right? With the callouts and the positioning and what to do, so that should give you a good start with Lucid. But you can definitely start like looking for Lucid Party and then like asking around. I imagine that after the 51050, maybe within our guild as well, there should be some Lucid and Will parties popping up again. We've got like 3 generations of parties going on, and like slowly but surely they start popping up. So, and then, you know, sometimes parties fall apart because people get busy and then they consolidate. So that happens too. That's like the normal transition again. But yeah, other than that, yeah, WSE is fine. Other pieces, Heart's in an okay spot. I don't remember seeing the cup, but I guess the flames on your cup is not really like the...
It's 68.6.
Oh, well, that's probably not something we need to work on too much.
So we kind of didn't mention this, but what about cubing when it comes to my newfound gear?
Well, you're probably going to be flat broke when you get your new gear on, so it's going to take a bit. But yeah, getting up to legendary and probably just like 2-lining it for now on everything is going to be pretty crazy. I probably just sit on 2-line, even if it's just like 18%, like 18 or 21, and just sit on that, because it's going to already feel really good that you made the upgrade, and then just sit on the money either until a cube sale or until you want to go for like a massive roll-on stuff. But it is very possible that even if you get 2-line, that the next best upgrade is still going to be pumping the CRA to 21 and getting all of the 21-star rings in there before you even go for attempt to 3-line. If you luck into like 24 and 27%, then that's amazing, of course. But just aiming for 21 on everything is probably still going to be like in line with the upgrades. And then the next thing will probably be 51015 again. Of course, you know, if 51015 is so long away and you're already like sitting on 80 bill, and you're like, what? I mean, like, how long do I keep all this money? Of course, at that point, you know, you can, especially for the accessories, you can start aiming for 27 or 30, or maybe 33 on the eye and the face. You know, if I like the monocle and the, well, you have one of them 33 already, right?
Yeah. I actually have a question about that. So for the glove, it's gonna be for. The optimal line is 2-line crit damage, or the realistic line is 2-line crit damage, not 3-line, since that's like impossible.
Yeah, well, realistic, I would say is like a 1-line crit damage and 1-line stat, and then like the one where you're really like pushing. So for the Abzo, for you, I would aim for like 1-line crit damage, 1-line stat, and then just aim for Arcane to get like 2-line crit damage on, and then like long distant future is like. Everything is so good at this point, like every upgrade is way too expensive, and then like go YOLO some black cubes and see if you can hit something on the 3rd line on the gloves. But we're talking like a year and a half from now probably with that.
I hated cubing on my Kana so much because I rolled 33 strength on the shoulder and the cape.
Beautiful, yeah. It's a mage class, like, so there's where all the strength is.
Can't wait to break through. Can't wait to roll 3-line int on my freaking main.
Tinfoil hat on. I'm telling you, man. You roll strength on mage characters and intellect on strength characters all the time, man. It's not a coincidence. Something there. They'll find it in like 3 years and we'll get compensation. Okay.
It's all rigged.
Yeah, it's all rigged.
I get all my cubes back. That'll be amazing.
Cubes over 2 years. Oh my god, so much money. Yeah. Opposite stat is free baby rage. True. I think mages hit a lot of luck.
But who gets the dex?
Well, not the archers. Archers get defense. Always the defense rolls, like defense, dex, defense. Oh, the biggest bait every time. Dex is free. I think the thieves get dex, right? DAs get... Oh yeah, DAs roll all the strength because they're warriors, but then it gets them nothing. All I get is luck on my Ilium. Yeah, see, that's a mage with luck, yeah. Mage roll luck and strength. Warriors roll int, yeah. Oh yeah, and the flame score too. You get like insane intellect flame scores on your warriors. Oh god. I think I rolled like 148 flame score pep mark on my... Was it on my arc? Yeah. I was like, that's so beautiful. Let's roll over it. Because this hurts to look at. Like an 80 and 6 with 6 magic attack or something. I don't know how much that is exactly, but... Or like a 7.
Yeah, I think we got through most of my questions about equip priorities.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly we can't do everything, so a few things are going to have to be bench warmers for a while. Yeah.
So yeah, for the face tattoo, is there ever a point to like start working on that? Like, I'm not sure what, like, right now I have it at 18 stars.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just got lucky, and that's why I just have it at 18. I guess I should just start working on that once I get once I have the money to work on Sweetwater in general.
Yeah,
and have like Sweetwater backups.
Yes, like CRA, then rings, and then then dive into your massive pile of the narrows at that point. Yeah. Then all the Sweetwater stuff
measly
comes in.
2K.
Yeah. 2K is already pretty good. If you don't get ridiculously unlucky with booms, then that can get you pretty far. But in my experience, Sweetwater just loves booming. I think one time I boomed 4 tattoos trying to go from 18 to 19 and never saw 19. So,
Hurts.
that's like 1,000. That's more than 1,000, right? That's like 1,200 or so, or like 1,000 or 1,200. The narrows just evaporated, Plus all the billions of mesos that go along with that. So, yeah. And then after that would be the journey of 20 to 21 on like superior stuff and everything. So that's gonna be, but then you'll have a bunch more dominators again, and you'll have a bunch more, maybe more kind of treasure rings that if something happens to the superior, you'll be able to dip back into the kind of treasures to transfer over again. Yeah, and that's also why I wouldn't go super hard on the potential, right, and stick to 21 first, because there is like that looming, do I want a 20 to 21 in the future, and if that goes sideways, because then you have to transfer a hammer over again, right?
Yeah.
And then you lose that potential again, so that's why. Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't have familiars in here, but that's going to be when you get to the new area, right? Like with this upgrade, you'll very easily be able to get into Moonbridge and get crazy rates there.
Yeah, right now I'm just still running the... I don't even think I'm running IED IED with the familiars, since I'm just using Demon Lash's 50% IED to like burst through the bosses.
Yep.
Yeah, right now I'm just using the item drop rate.
Yep. Yeah, once you get to Moonbridge and then the large item drop rate and the boss damage, those guys coming in, that's going to be huge. And then when the reboot passive changes, you should see a decent amount of damage increase as well, because Demon Slayer does go pretty high on the damage percent as well, right, when you're bursting. So there should be some good...
There's been conflicting arguments about that.
Yeah?
In the Discord.
Okay.
I don't know. Some people just are like jaded because of the new classes. Like, I don't know. I think it's mainly the stat requirement to like be able to solo bosses. People get really jaded about that in the Demon Slayer Discord.
Okay. They feel like it's too high for them, or?
Yeah, I think one of the examples they gave was like 60k for Chaos Gloom solo, and they had the person who did that had their Genesis weapon like liberated. Versus like the 42k Ho-Young that cleared it. So
that's a bit lower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mobility comes in very clutch, and the giant AOE's and.
It's kind of a bad example since Demon Slayers are like notoriously bad in Gloom apparently.
Yeah. If you look at the extremes, it's gonna be like that, right? Because it's like the dude who was like XBXD, right? He was almost able to, but not exactly able to solo Hard Lucid on his Phantom that was 60k stat, but he was able, but he did it on his Adele at 38k stat. It's like, if you take the most extreme examples, then there is going to be like a big difference, but there's probably some other situations. I mean, Ho-Young is just a bad example as well, because Ho-Young is going to lose like 15% of their final damage in the upcoming balance changes, and DS seems to be generally getting buffs, so...
We just want to fix our mobbing skills.
Yeah.
Like our mobbing skill has like a really small window in a sense. It's mainly like being able to hit bottom platforms that kind of suffers, and we kind of want more like horizontal range with our skill. We're everyone I talked to in the Discord server that we were discussing this for a while. I think that's like one of the main fixes that we're looking for, just to have like a better mobbing skill.
Yeah.
And fixing Chaos Lock. Fix that skill, please.
Is it bad now because of the cooldown?
No, I think that part they're fine with. The problem that like I think it was like for Will P2 and for Gullux. If you get killed during Chaos Lock, you get disconnected.
Oh.
It's like bad.
Yeah, that's not great. Probably
like,
something that needs to get looked into. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty reasonable request too, to not have your game close when using something to survive.
Yeah. Like, I'm fine with dying if my timing between using Chaos Lock and Gullux's arm hits me. I'm fine with dying. I don't want to get DC'd though.
Yeah, yeah. Losing your guild skills like, when you just activated them, having to wait an hour to be able to use them again. Like, not a good time. All right, any other DS complaints you want to throw out there before the before we wrap up, I guess?
Nerf Adele.
Nerf Adele.
Yep, that's about it. That's about it.
Make everyone else worse so we look better.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're getting some nerfs, right? At least the survivability is not going to be as brain dead anymore. I think all of the changes in like since the Adele release have all been good changes in the sense that yeah, they were kind of really good at that and they probably could lose some progress there. It still makes them a really good class, and people playing it still don't really have any real good reason to complain. But all those things put together does put the class in a way healthier position than where they started. If you look at KMS Tespia Adele versus after the upcoming changes, it's a really big difference. It's still a very solid class, still like a really good class, but very big, much more moderate compared to like balancing it to other classes. Yeah, same thing with Hoyoung, right? It's like really up there now with like the bursting damage and stuff. Like the mobility is really sick, but the changes to the skills that are upcoming are also gonna put them, I think, in a healthier position. Because yeah, it makes other people not feel as bad about their achievements if someone else can't do it with like way less,
Yeah.
Mechanical skill
fine.
aside.
I think Demon Slayers are still in a good position compared to other classes.
For sure, yeah.
Like rest in peace DAs, but
what a difference between the demons, huh?
I know.
They started pretty close. At the beginning, it was almost like Demon Avenger was kind of like the better demon, but oh man, is that a thing of the ancient past? It's not even remotely close.
Well, I think we got through all my questions.
Yeah, nothing left on the list.
Nope.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. That's the Monster Parker badge that you, a medal, sorry, that you anviled?
No, it's
It's the actual one?
It's the Maple Cafe thing.
That one has IED on it, right? Or what was
10%.
it? Oh yeah, okay. So it's basically the equivalent of the Monster Parker?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking if we forgot any spaces. No, drop. Message dependence, talked about belt, eye face.
Is it worth trying to re-roll any of the equips to 2-line drop? Or should I just wait for the cube sale for that?
When you're re-rolling with red cubes, there's like a good chance that some of that stuff pops up. And then you can make decisions based on backups to move things around. But in general, it's like a pretty min-maxy thing, yeah. I'll probably do that, think about that, probably like around the same stage when you're like, when you get your CRA to 21, like after that. It's probably where I would think about doing that. There was if you asked me that like 3 weeks ago, I would have said don't do it. But then now, because they changed back the drops for the flames and the cubes and everything, now I think that value just came back. So now I think it's like back on the menu, because you can keep getting flames and cubes, and you can just keep trickling them down into other characters, make bossing mules, 5x boss crystal value coming in, hopefully 6x for us, but probably 5x. And making a bunch more money weekly off of that as well. So I think that does return value, definitely, yeah. Not for training, right? Because for training, you're pretty much going like hybrid set, pretty cool now. And then once you leave Limina, it's either mezzo or full damage set, because for months until you have the sacred power built up.
Guess I just have to start doing some more extra Kana farming. Hopefully I get to the 60 bill.
Mm-hmm.
Still got 2.5 weeks, or close enough.
Yep. Yep. Third weekend from now, I believe. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I think we're good.
Okay. Well, best of luck with everything. Hope you don't boom too much, because it's gonna be Trace Heaven. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing Arcane, so I hope the same for me. But
yeah, good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully not a repeat of last time. 5 booms and 80 bill down and 0 gains. That's never a good time.
Yikes.
Yeah, hopefully not twice in a row, but who knows.
It's the next one.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I'll have a lot of I'll have like another 5 months or so saving up for the next attempt, I guess, so you know.
Do you think we're gonna get another one after this, or do you think we're gonna get another 5, 10, 15 after this before the end of the year?
What are we, September, August? It's probably going to be like around the end of the year or the beginning of next year, probably, right? Like every 8 to 12 weeks. So if you're looking at 12 weeks, then we're pretty much looking at Christmas, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking we're probably gonna get it like since there's gonna be the winter update, they're gonna have like these kind of events anyway.
Yeah, it always just depends on how they jumble up, whether they just copy the Sunny Sundays from the KMS update or whether they do their own. You know, like recently we had like 2 5, 10, 15s really close together, and then now it took a while to get this one. We had 2 Magnificent Soul events pretty close not too long ago, and now we haven't had one for a while. So there are kind of like, you know, sometimes it's easier to just copy the 5, 10, 15s from the update and just paste it in, and it's, you know, it's done. But it does mess up the order of everything a little bit. But, you know, nothing's set in stone, so we have to be flexible in that as well and adapt to that. But, you know, sometimes you wish you wouldn't have to. Because by the next Magnificent Soul event, people are going to have things, even if you have a soul bag, it's going to start, like, coming out the sides of your soul bag with all the stacks of Magnus and Queen and Vellum and all that if you're doing those daily, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully not
Mine's
too
like pretty much full.
Mm-hmm. I mean, our storage being going up to 100 bill is a really good thing that you don't have to put your money on like 6 different characters and start transferring it during the day to Star Force more. That's a pain in the ass. Now you can have access to 200 bill on one character. Like that's a lot of potential there, so... We're looking forward to that. All right.
I think I'll ever get to that point. Yeah. 200 bill.
I never thought I would get to that point, but now I'm at like 110, 120 almost. So by the time 5, 10, 15 rolls around, I think I can get to 130 if I keep training, which is something I thought I would never get at either. I mean, back when I started training, I thought I would never move into a Tyrant belt. You know, this is that's 5 years ago. A lot could change in a year or two. No, game changes, you move along with it. Okay. Well, yeah. Again, best of luck, and I'll see you around.
Yep.
And
let you know how it goes.
Yeah, we'll do. I'll upload it on YouTube, and you can look at it back if you need to. But I think you took some notes, so you should be fine. I think. But yeah, hopefully you get some good backups. Maybe some help in the comments from other DSs who can give you some more information on stuff. But yeah, man. See you around, and take care.
Yeah, you too.
All right, bye. That was a great call. Thank you, Discord. Alrighty. So, yeah, a lot of work and a lot of money will be spent, but lots of possible gains, right? So this is the benefit. This whole situation is the benefit of keeping the boss accessory pieces and the non-Abso pieces for a longer period of time. What will happen is you can move immediately into high star superior, right? You don't move into the 17 star superior, get it to legendary, get your stats, rely on the set bonus, rely on the damage from the superior pieces, and then when you get to this situation, you're like, okay, now I want to transfer Hammer over because I don't have all of the coins to buy backups for superior, and then you have to redo the potential again, tier it up again from epic to legendary, get the potential back again, right? That's a lot of money. If you can save that cost and do this, do like 2 upgrades in once, in the large perspective of thing, it's more efficient, but of course, there, you know, it's more efficient, but you have to wait a whole bunch of time with this gear. And if you want to get those new bosses, you want to get those new the damage into the higher level bosses, you would have probably already been running Lucid and maybe be practicing normal will for several weeks, probably running Lucid for maybe like a month or two, right? So one is a more taking a little hit in the short term for a big gain in the long term, and the other one would be boosting a little bit harder in the short term for taking a little bit of a hit in the long term. So it totally depends on how you want to play the game, whether you're okay with just sitting back, getting your rates, getting your backups, and then seeing based on the backups where do you want to push the hardest. Of course, yeah, I don't know if you want to go this hard on backups. This is maybe a little bit extreme, but I've never been in this situation. This doesn't even have the shoes and the gloves in it, right? But like these earrings, I don't think it's necessary. Like if you can get to 17, right? You want to get to 17 without having the safeguard for these earrings, because you go from these earrings into superior, right? So these definitely want to go up to 17, but there's no need for all of these backups, right? The black beam marks you can save. For capes and belts, I would just keep one kind so you can transfer the trace. If you have this amount of them, I would just get rid of one of the types of the belt and of the capes. So if you do that, we're immediately looking at like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28 extra spots in your inventory. And now you have a lot more breathing room, right? It's basically like one extra, you're like, that's fine, that's fine. You want to keep all the Dominators, you want to keep all the Kana Treasure Rings, you want to keep all the Meisters, right? Those are like high priority. And once you have the Abzo and all the other stuff that you want, you can axe all the 150 gear, and now all you hold is the superior drops, of course, right, for later backups, and the reinforced earrings. Those are the ones you want to keep. You know, if you eventually want to go for 22 and God forbid something happens on the way to 22. So yeah, if you're in the same situation as this, hopefully it was helpful to you. If you are currently making plans on getting to or starting on 5th and 15, I mean, yeah, starting on 5th and 15, it's a good idea to start working on building up the backups like this and have a long-term plan, you know, a plan of attack. With all of that, we are ending today. We are ending August, so make sure you check the reward shop and buy out the totems and all the stuff in the reward shop. Right? Hopefully, you see this video in time for that. Otherwise, too late. Do it next month. And of course, all of the reward points for July will be expiring at reset as well. The one extra thing, I'll probably make that announcement again on the next video. But what I'm going to be starting to do, this is still August, but starting September. What I will do is I will pick one winner every month from people who commented on these progression videos, and you will get one progression session, the hour and a half, full special, full inclusive, for free, where you can talk about what you want, like how to progress in the game. You want to talk about a boss fight, you want to talk about, I don't know, you just want to rant about the game, whatever you want to do. But these sessions that usually are 20 euros, you can get one of these for free, as long as you, just comment on the video and just so I know that you watched it and that you at least have something to say about the session or something, right? So I'll be doing that every month from now on, starting in September, starting the next session that will be uploaded. I don't know. I have one tomorrow actually on the 1st of September. So when that one gets uploaded, that'll be the first one. Yeah. So at the end of September, I'll look at all of the September videos, pull a random winner. You know, maybe even 2 if I feel generous. You know, we'll see how it goes. And then we'll be getting some free sessions to some of you guys watching at YouTube. I know a lot of, and girls, of course. I know a lot of you at YouTube watch these semi-religiously and use them as podcasts on the side. And, maybe you want to get in on that sometime. And maybe if you're feeling like getting a little bit more serious with your account, you can use that to get that boost, to get that that session started. You know, start with a good plan. So other than that, so I will be repeating that in the next session. No worry about that. So other than that, the usual, find me on Twitch. I'm live on Twitch. Come check me out live if you have the time. If you have data for me, if you want to join the Reboot Guild, or you want one of these sessions, you don't want to wait a whole month, or you don't want to wait in line. There's links for all of that in the description of the video. You can find how to get one of these sessions. You can find how to send me data that I can use to help the community. And you can find where you can apply if you want to join the Reboot NA or EU chapter of the Guild. I don't know how active the EU is, so if there's anything, you just hit me up on Discord. And other than that, I just thank you for watching all the way to the end. Amazing. 6 people of you still here watching the whole thing on YouTube. Kudos to you. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully it was educational, and good luck starting next month on getting that freebie. All right.